Hey everyone, it is October 23rd, 2019. Time is 06:53. It is 40 degrees Fahrenheit out and it is Geo-Rant time. I believe this is Geo-Rant 110. This is also going to be a show and tell. When I was up north a couple weeks ago with Sarah, we stopped at our usual little shop in Calumet, and it's a very touristy shop, very nice shop. Well, and there were the Uberlite things up there, and a guy had a bunch of them in a tray and his black light, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. Black light, long wave UV, sorry, my bad. And there were a bunch of rocks in there, and there were two that were really interesting. One was black and mafic, and you hit it with the long wave UV and it fluoresced. It had a little bit of sodalite in it, so it was probably a void bearing gabbro. Remember, things that are going to fluoresce when you hit them with long wave UV and burn bright orange or real deep yellow, that means it has sodalite. Sodalite is a void. That means the rock has no primary quartz. Quartz and voids cannot form together. So on the QAPF diagram, which I've showed you before, the quartz alkali feldspar plagioclase diagram, there's two triangles, a top, which everyone usually focuses on because it's like 95% of plutonic rocks, and the bottom part. We're dealing with the bottom part, okay? Now, so he wouldn't sell that one, which is fine because I really wasn't interested in it. I was more interested in this one. All right, you see the deep reds, the whites, and the blacks are mafics. I haven't really looked at it in detail. I suspect the white is plagioclase, the red is alkali feldspar of some sort, and the blacks look like some sort of bladed amphibole. Could be hornblende, most likely hornblende. There doesn't seem to be any biotite in this. But it does have sodalite in it. How do I know that? Okay, here we go. You can't see it really well on the camera, but you see the glowing parts, the bright parts. To the naked eye, it looks like fiery orange. It's really cool. It looks like neon orange. The camera doesn't catch it that well, but you see that? Okay, so we know we don't have quartz in it. We know we have sodalite, which is a void. But that's not what's really interesting. What's interesting is the pattern of this rock, the color of this rock. All right? This would be, I said he had a void gabbro he didn't want to sell, so on the bottom half of the QAPF diagram, he's over here by the plagioclase part. This rock is more towards the middle. It's probably a void-bearing monzonite or something like that, or maybe even a cyanide, depends on how much alkali feldspar. If the white is alkali feldspar, this could be a void-bearing cyanide. But the pattern is what got me. Why did the pattern get me? Because I've only seen this rock one place in pictures from southwest Greenland, the Gardar province, in the failed rift. That's Mesoproterozoic in age, like the mid-continental rift of Lake Superior. So I'm not wondering if this came from there. Now, I have never, it could still be from the Cold Wall Complex, which is where most of these Uberlite rocks are derived from in Canada. That's between Wawa and Nipigon, Ontario, on the north shore of Lake Superior, but I've never seen rocks like this up there. So I'm not wondering if this came all the way from Greenland. So he parted with it for $5. So I got to look at it in more detail and compare it and see if there are rocks like this up there. Because if this came from Greenland, this guy traveled a long way in the Quaternary glaciers. But anyway, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I hope you learned something.